With us today, we got Joe, Trigger Joe Britson.
All right, let's go.
Boom! To try to get a matchup with a gun. Oh, goes the roof! Francis is gone!
Well, this is just a fist. When I start throwing it around, I can leave one hell of a mess. Let's dance.
Multiple occasions. Wow, it looks like they're going to swing to the very end.
And he wasn't kidding.
Wow!
It's very rare.
What a finish! Another one.
It really poses the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to take a chance and risk getting knocked out?
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Trying to take care of business, trying to get control. Oh! It's a knockout! Oh my It's a knockout!
And it's closing in, trying to finish it, and it's over!
Because I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to whop you on that side of your face. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
Clock is brought to you by Modelo.
I killed it! Punch me right in the face, man.
And we have a new nickname. Okay, we have William Send It 7 Pearson. All right, other than that, we used to call him Willie Pete. We used to call him the Mad Russian.
For his opponent to be quicker on the catch.
Now you're gonna get it, Bobby!
I think you've had enough. Noah? Now you've had enough. Bitch.
Wow! How good is this?
Finish him! Get him a body bag! Yeah!
Another one.
Everybody gets triggered. It's just if you become a pansy. That's in the Book of Brawl. I think
Not surprised, motherfuckers.
You called down the thunder, well now you got it.
gotta be very careful.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Sports Betting Show with your hosts, Trigger Joe, Send It 7 Pearson, and the Big Earl. UFC, NFL, if it's on, we're betting on it.
Good morning, Trash Talkers, Gruntworks Nation. Happy Saturday. It's a happy Saturday for us because I think last week we had some guy that's kind of famous on here. I don't know. I can't remember his name because he lost. Okay. Brandon, if you're watching, you lost. And there's only been one person to come on in the show and handle these experts. All right. And that was a long time ago. These guys probably haven't forgot that and they haven't lost since. But either way, I'm the Big Earl. I'm the guy you don't listen to when it comes to the fights, but I am the funny one of the show that makes you all watch. No, maybe not. So here you go. We got Trigger Joe with us. Always. And then I know he hates when I say this, but there's only one way to stop it, and that's to actually beat him. But the champ, Bill, send it 7 Pearson.
I'm in a 2-man competition, and I'm not being called the champ. I'm not supposed to like it.
But either way, if you went with our parlays last week, you probably didn't do too hot. But if you went with the locks, you did okay. And again, that's what we always try to tell you is pay attention to our bets, put some scratch on the locks, put the parlays together, but don't blow your wad on the parlays. Okay. That's where you want to. That's where you tend to lose sometimes. That's why Vegas has the giant buildings. Shout out to our sponsors, 10th Mountain Bourbon. All right, go to 10thmountainspirits.com and get yourself a bottle. Put in the code VTT and get a discount. And then the Veterans Mortgage Source with Zach Farkas. Go on our website, VeteranTrashTalk.com, and all the links to those guys are there. And if you have any VA loan questions or anything about finance with houses, just give him an email. He'll shoot you back. Excuse me. All right. Let's get down to it. Let's get to the fights because we're trying to make some money this weekend. Now, I studied this card pretty extensively this morning at about 7:10 and to about 7:12. And there's going to be a theme. You're going to pick up on it. And it's actually relatively simple because that's the best plan, the simple one. So we got a middleweight fight. You got Alex Pereira at 4-1 versus we don't talk about Bruno Silva. All right. I don't know if you guys have been watching Encanto.
Oh, stop singing that song.
Yes. I don't know if you've been watching Encanto 16,000 times since it's come out. But I remember
probably on right now downstairs.
Yeah. I had to watch my children because I am now a Mr. Mom. And I think it was 5 times. Okay. 5
My
times.
life has become an endless succession of DreamWorks ballads.
Yes. Well, this is
from
Disney.
Frozen to music to Soul to.
So I'm going with the Encanto first round knockout because we don't talk about Bruno and he's the older guy. Let's start with the champ. Bill, what say you?
Man, this is a tough fight. Actually, you're gonna hear me say that a lot on this card. But you know what? I'm gonna go with Bruno Silva, who is also my DraftKings sleeper.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Ooh.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one. Joe was probably going to tell you Pereira, and that is also not a bad bet. Man, this fight card's a great fight card. But I'm going to go with my DraftKings sleeper just based off of fight competition on the resume. Pereira's coming up. He might be a devastating dude. We might start seeing him on a lot more cards. But I'm going with my gut on this one. I'm going to go with Bruno Silva. I'm going to go 2nd round TKO. Also my DraftKings sleeper.
All right. Yeah. See, I kind of feel like it's an old man fight card. They got all these young guys in here, and then the old men are just going to start whooping up on them and say, "Hey, Dana, what's up? We're still here." Trigger Joe, what say you?
Well, since Pereira is the actual older fighter, believe it or not, he's 34 and Silva's 32.
We don't talk about
so
Bruno.
it's two old men going at it. But I'm gonna say this one for the novice, and it's a ballsy pick by Bill. Bruno Silva's got 19 knockouts out of 22 wins. Okay, this guy doesn't have boring fights, and he's never been KO'd. Anybody knows anything about Alex Pereira? He came into the UFC with the resume, the only guy to ever knock out Israel Adesanya, and he knocked him out bad. So don't let the experience thing fool you. He's probably had about 80 pro kickboxing fights. He's very dangerous, and based on the size and based on how dangerous he really is in the striking game, this is a great matchup, and the odds are beautiful either way. But I'm taking Alex Pereira. I'm going to take him because he's got the 5 inches of reach. He's got the kickboxing experience. Silva's got the MMA experience, but they both fight stand-up. So I'm just going to lean towards Pereira just because of how good he looked in his octagon debut and the fact that he's got that striking prowess. So I think Pereira catches him, maybe check hook, and does a lot of leg work before that. And it's a I can't say, I don't know if I can say TKO. Bill, did you say decision or TKO?
I said 2nd round TKO.
Okay. Man, I tell you what, we're just going to do this way. I say it goes, Bill say it goes one way, I say it goes the other. 2nd round KO for Pereira.
There you go. We got a point on the first fight of the card. I like it.
Yeah, let's do
like
it.
a lot.
That's actually a really good one.
Yeah. But yeah, let's like get off track for a little bit here. It's March Madness. It's basketball time. All right. And I wish I would have recorded myself yesterday when I was talking some betting advice with somebody else. And I said, bet all the underdogs in the Big Ten.
Yes.
And they were like, why? I go, because the Big Ten is the most corrupt conference.
Teams.
They're the most corrupt conference in all of college, right? So these bubble teams need to have some signature wins. Well, look at that. Illinois and Wisconsin go down. And then 2 bubble teams, they're going to be right in the tournament. So now the Big Ten is going to have 9 teams in there. All right. So I made some money. I wish I would have timestamped it. Like, I wish I would have recorded it. Like, I think the only favorite to win in the quarterfinals was Iowa. So it's like, and that was even a tough game.
Believe it or not, the Big Ten does have more money than any conference. And I mean, Stephen Ross alone went to Michigan, and he owns the Dolphins. I mean, there's money, and he's on the low end of the income with the heavy hitters in the Big Ten. There's money in there.
So yeah, those guys, they want their teams in there. But all right, let's just pay attention to that. We'll talk about some of the picks when March Madness starts next Saturday, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But if you haven't put your money down on Duke to win it all, I think that's what's going to happen. Duke to win it all, and then also watch out for the sleeper in Arizona. All right, Zona might come at you with something spicy, and then Illinois. I don't want to say it because I hate everything from Illinois, but Illinois healthy, look out. All right, so
there's a reason why Coach K is, a lot is debated as the GOAT. Some people say it's without question he's the best ever. His teams hit their stride in March. He's done it.
Well, they're extremely
30 years.
They're extremely tough to match up against because they're just so big.
Right, and he got sick of Kentucky doing one and done. So what did Krzyzewski say? All right, I'm going to grow with the times and take all your one and dones. And now look at him.
You watched that game yesterday against Miami, and Miami was trying to run them up and down the court, and you could tell they were faster than Duke, but Duke's guys were just swatting it almost every drive. It was just crazy. But all right, back to the fights.
Yeah,
we got a lightweight one coming up, and you got Joe's boy. All right, Drew Dober coming in at 23-11 in this lightweight fight versus Terrence McKinney at 12-3. Well, I guess I picked the younger guy. I went with the more experienced record. I think we don't talk about Bruno. So let's stick with the more experienced and the older people. We're gonna go with Drew Dober by decision. It's gonna be boring, and he's just gonna out technically fight Terrence. That's what I'm gonna say. Joe, sticking with you. I know who you got. Man. You got your boy.
This one might be where I let my heart pick a little bit, but I saw the weigh-ins. Dober's like he's weird strong. Like he's got a really good grab. I mean, it took Islam 3 rounds to dispatch him. And, Bobby Green looked fantastic in his last 2 fights, and Islam just ran right through him. Bill and I had a nice argument about it.
Bobby Green.
But to do that to Bobby Green that way, that no one in the division is going to run through him like that. He can at least keep somebody off of him for a round. Islam was like, no, I'm going to get this done early and fly home. But Drew went 3 rounds with him. He's a really strong grappler. Terrence came out and submitted a really dangerous guy in CM, 2 weeks ago, and looked really good doing it. But I just think if they go to the ground, that Dober will have an advantage there on the ground. He takes a hell of a punch. And I will say this. I think that if you bet the over on this one, because I don't see McKinney finishing him, but I think McKinney's good enough to not get finished also. And they might be playing careful. This is a big fight for both guys. This shoots McKinney farther up the ladder, and this is one that Drew Dober definitely needs. So I'm going to go Dober by split decision, and Nick was almost spot on, actually. I think it's going to be a lot of groundwork, and I think Dober's going to be the better grappler. I could be wrong. This is a really tough one to pick. So that's what I got. I got Dober split decision.
All right. And before we turn it over to Bill, just remember, guys, stick around till the end because we'll give you their locks and their parlays and their DraftKings sleeper, which I think Bill already said his. But yeah, like I said, stick around. And then if you go to our store, shop.VeteranTrashTalk.com or gruntworksclothing.com and put in the code VTTGW, get yourself a discount. And check out some of those Ukraine shirts. We want to send a really big check to the Ultimate Sacrifice Foundation and their efforts to help some refugees. So let us send a big check to them, and you guys buy them.
Or a care package to the Klitschko brothers.
Yeah, we like I said, so The Ukraine shirts are pretty funny. We just came out with a new one with the special operations of Ukraine as a tractor, and they're pulling all the Russian armor out of there and stealing tanks. So there's definitely some espionage going there. But Bill, what say you on that fight?
Very similar to Joe. I think, like Joe, this is also a little bit of my heart betting on this one. But Drew Dober by decision. I just think, Joe's right. I think he's got that farm strength. He's just farm strong.
Yep.
And if you can see my notes, I do have over question mark. If you're going to bet on this one, I would take the over on this one. I think he's definitely going to go to a decision. I'm just leaning towards Dober. I think Dober's strength is going to win the ground matchup, but I don't think it's going to be a finish fight. I think it's definitely going to go to a decision. So if you want to play safe and not pick the winner, go with the over. Take the over.
The only money I'm putting on this fight.
Yeah,
is the over. Yeah.
When I give my parlays, I'm going to give you a couple overs. But I'm going to lean towards Dober decision on this one.
There you go. There you go. All right, moving right along. We got a light heavyweight, which this one was tough when I was trying to analyze it. All right, you have Khalil Roundtree at 10-5 versus Carl Roberson at 9-4. So this one was tough to me because both these guys are missing letters out of their name. All right, and so you really like, are they even going to finish the fight? Because somebody couldn't finish spelling their fucking name, right? Is it Roundtree or Roundtree? Is Roberson or Robertson? I mean, come on, who's churching this shit up? So I'm going to go with Khalil because Khalil is the only guy to come on here and just destroy our experts. So we're going to go with Khalil, second round KO. What say you, Bill?
That. Believe it or not, that.
Ring the bell.
Khalil is just a bad dude. I think the first round is going to be him throwing nasty leg kicks. Hopefully he doesn't ruin another leg like he did his last fight.
How does last leg kick go, Bill?
Everybody saw when
matchstick.
He kicked that dude in the knee, and everybody heard him scream, and then Herb had to just run in and stop it. So Khalil Roundtree, I think it's going to be first round full of leg kicks. This is going to set up just a power bomb left. That's gonna end the fight. So Khalil Roundtree, second round TKO.
There you go. Joe, what say you?
Oh man, this is my DraftKings sleeper right here, Khalil. Same thing, man. I think Khalil's gonna soften him up with the legs. I think he might hit him with the old Sammy the Bull Gravano line. I snap your leg like a matchstick. Bye.
Nice.
He did it in his last fight.
I think I don't remember which guy's legs always break.
Podcast he does,
but all
yeah.
Right.
But it was an oblique kick, so it wasn't like the straight on slap kick. It was like a push kick, Nick, into the knee, and the leg folded backwards, and it was over. Bukowskis also had a nasty, got worked over by Jimmy Crute. That guy needs to quit fighting. But I got Roundtree, man. He looks so much bigger in the weigh-ins. God, he's a horse, man. And I think Robertson's going to test him on the feet, and I think he's going to lose. So I got Roundtree by second round TKO as well. That's all three of us. So that's it.
All right. There you have that one. All right. Moving right along. All right. We got a featherweight fight, and you got Sadiq Youssef at 11-2 going against Alex Caceres at 19-12. And again, I'm sticking with the age. All right. This is like some aged wine. I'm going with Alex Caceres by decision.
Bruce Leroy?
Yeah. Let's say Bruce Leroy catches bullets with his teeth. All right. So, no, he's reached the final level. He has
the glow.
Yeah. He's got the glow. All right. Once you get the glow, it's over. And then you're always looking for some dumb guy. All right. So, Joe, what say you?
I like Sadiq here, man. Yeah, Caceres, I could see some people because of the odds making him an underdog play because he's a volume guy and he likes to do the pity pat. And if this goes decision, that's when I'll get nervous because Caceres is a volume fighter. But Sadiq is very explosive. I don't think he's going to mind eating some of those pity pat punches because that's what Caceres does. He doesn't throw power shots. He points people to death. And Sadiq throws 5.4 significant strikes a minute. More than Bruce Leroy, actually. And he's ortho. Bruce Leroy's a Southie. So straight right hand usually lands pretty well in those. And I think Youssef's just too powerful for him. And I think Youssef finishes him off in the third after a couple of good first two rounds. TKO.
All right. TKO. The champ. What say you?
I mean, almost exactly the same. I'm with Joe.
Start loading it up.
If this goes decision, I too will also start getting real nervous. Caceres isn't a power guy. He likes to pity pat and then try to jump on your back. This is how he won his last fight. I just think Yusuf, like Joe said, Yusuf's not going to be afraid of his pity pat shots, and Yusuf's going to try to rough him up. What'd you say, third round, Joe?
I said so. Did I say third?
Yeah, you said third round. Third round TKO.
Yep.
Yep. I agree with that. I think he's going to soften him up for 2 rounds. I think problem is you never know which Caceres is going to show up either.
Yep. I have zero idea who's going to show up in this one.
Sometimes he shows up just acting like a jackass, and he just gets fucking dinged up. I'm going to go with Yusuf, the heavy favorite on this one. I'll go third round TKO too. If this goes to decision, like Joe said, I'll be a little bit worried. Just because Caceres just throws in bunches, even though they have zero effect. I'll go Sadiq Yusuf, third round.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Brandon K MMA would be on the chat thread, but he's probably not awake yet. All right, and that's the difference. That's the major difference, Brandon. If you're listening, we get up early, we do our research. All right, we don't just wake up, roll out of bed, and try to pick against experts. All right, because when you do that, like you tried last week, all right, you just get dominated. So, Brandon, if you're listening, anytime you want to come back, anytime you want to challenge us, I mean, it wasn't even close. I think, like I said, I think I beat you. I think I beat you last week, but I mean, apparently that's not what sells on your YouTube.
That being said, we loved having you on.
Yeah, we loved having you on, Brandon. Great cast. Okay. Let's go to the fight that I'm stoked about, because this is one of the few fighters that I know. All right, and this is a bantamweight fight. It's the co-main, and you got Marlon Moraes at 23-9. So I was like, I don't know, do you want Moraes or do you want Yadong? Okay, so you got Song Yadong. Okay, so this is about who you're going to pick here. What do you want? You want Moraes or you want Dong? All right, so I'm going to go with Song Yadong with a dong slap to the face. All right, to win this fight in the first round. However, it's going to get reversed after review because you're not supposed to hit people with other people's dongs. All right, so it's not his dong, it's your dong. All right, and so I'm going to go with Moraes by disqualification. Bill, what say you?
Same fighter, just different outcome. I got you Dong Song too by fucking mauling.
By mauling.
I mean, Moraes has lost 4 of his last 5. He just shouldn't be fighting anymore, to be honest with you. And Yadong's a bad dude. It could go to decision, but I'm still going to lean towards a late second round TKO. But I think if it goes to decision, it's going to be very one-sided as well, probably 30-27. I think Yadong Song is just going to come out there and just maul Moraes. So we'll go Yadong Song, late second round TKO, maybe early third. But there's no way Moraes is just going to get beat the hell up this fight.
Nice.
Joe.
Just remember, it's not my dong, it's your dong. So, Joe, what say you?
Absolutely. You guys want a little bit of stats here for the layman. Yadong's last 12, just because I had to go that far back to when he lost the fight. His last 12, he's 10-1-1. All right. He's 9 years younger. And to quote the MMA guru, who I love that dude, he's got to be one of our next guests because he's freaking hilarious. That chin has had it. And according to Brandon K, I'm done with you, dude. He like broke up with Marlon Moraes on his weigh-in video. It was fucking hilarious. He's like, I'm done with you, dude. You've never done anything for me in this relationship. But I think when they start the fight, the ref should just say, finish him. Right. Like Mortal Kombat. And I got Song Yadong by first round brutality. I think he's going to KO Marlon Moraes. I'll give Moraes the credit. He's had 9 title fights. I'll say he knows enough to stay away for about 3 or 4 minutes. He's probably wobbled at the end of 1, and I say he finishes them 2, just like Bill. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's a 10-8 first round, and there is no end to the second round. Song Yadong, KO.
Song Yadong, KO. All right. That looks like a lock right there, baby. All right, let's go to the main event. And you got it's a light heavyweight, and you got Thiago Santos at 22-9 versus Magahada Akalov. All right, now I know Ankalov's coming in at 16-1, but I just have why do I just have this like is there 45 Ankalovs that fight? Like
well, you remember him because he had the 2-fight masterpiece over Cute Labia.
That's right.
Fighter.
Yeah, he beat my boy Cute Labia. Okay, so twice. He's gonna be on a downswing here because once you fuck with the labia twice, I don't know if you can. You might win, but do you really win against the labia? I don't think any man has ever really won against the labia. So I'm gonna go Santos first round KO. Joe, what say you?
No. Santos as not, he didn't really look that great after his knee surgery. And, I noticed something. I watched one of his fights and I can't remember who it was against. It'll come to me, but the dude, he's sloppy and Ankalov is not. Yeah. He's sharp, man. He's got crisp stand up, and Santos could easily put Ankalov into the dark room and connect with a bomb and really hurt him. But I think Ankalov is just too technical. He's a monster. He knows that this fight probably puts him in contention for a contender, like contender eliminator. And I just think Santos is on his downslope. He's kind of had that Johnny Walker hype because he looks so good. And I haven't really seen a whole lot since they made the big fuss about him. And I just don't think he's a big fighter or a championship fighter. I think he carries too much weight. He's going to get tired. And I got Ankalov by 3rd round TKO. And I'm probably going to be pissing my pants when I look through all these picks and start going money line because I think I've picked a KO in every fight and that never happens. So that's just what I'm seeing here. But Ankalov's way too expensive for me to play him money line. Way too expensive. He's like minus 450 right now. So I like him by TKO in the 3rd and on a very gassed Santos.
All right. So 3rd round. I wonder what it's got to be like a +6, probably 2,000, 3,000. Call the round. Maybe bet the round on this one. Yeah. 3rd one. So Bill, what say you in the main event?
Santos.
Nice.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Yes. No, he's gonna win.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, I know. Ankalov all the way. Like Joe said, money line. He's the minus 600.
I told you so, face. Get ready for it next weekend.
Listen, I used to like Santos. I really do. I still kind of do. I just think he's just so overmatched in this fight. I actually went with a decision on this one. I think Santos, he's got a good enough chin to last, but I think he's just going to be outclassed. He's probably going to spend a lot of time on his back on this one. And I think, like Joe said, he's just going to get tired. And Ankalaev just doesn't tire out either. So I'm going to get Ankalaev decision. I think, again, it's going to be very one-sided. But Joe might be right, too. He might get so tired that it's an easy TKO in the 3rd round. I'd almost be willing to bet the over on this one. But if you just want a really safe parlay, take Ankalaev money line. But like I said, it's just going to add to your parlay. It's a minus 600. You're not going to win much on it. But if you want to go for a 3rd round or an over on us, I think that's a safe bet, to be honest with you. I think Santos is good enough to last the first 2 rounds, but he's not going to win this fight.
Excuse me, that's minus 620 now on FanDuel money line. So
minus 620.
I'd like to go to the distance is a plus 130, Bill. So if you're right on that one, it's good pay.
I'd be willing to take a decision on that one. Ankalaev, he's just outclasses him. It's just the way it is in sports. Sometimes some people are just better than you, and that's Ankalaev. He's got the DNA lottery. So Ankalaev, go with decision on this one. If you want to do a wacky bet, go with the overage.
All right, there you have it for the main card, but now we are to the money-making part of the show. All right, for those of you who don't care about any analysis and just want to know who to bet on like I do, but I know a lot of people do enjoy the analysis of the fights that these guys give you. It really is top-notch compared to anybody else. Okay, let's go to Joe here. Let's switch it up a little bit. Usually I stay with the guy who just picked. But Joe, who are your locks, your parlays, and your DraftKings sleeper?
The locks are almost they're not even really important. The parlays are. The locks are Yadong and Ankalaev. But I'm going to go ahead and throw Sadiq Youssef in. Roundtree is my DraftKings sleeper. He's at a plus 110 right now, and I think he should be favored. So my parlay, I'm going to go Man, I wanted to go Semmelsberger in the first on the end of the prelims, but this kid he's fighting is 9-0 and he's a really good wrestler. And that control time takedown shit. I don't know. Semmelsberger will probably win, but I'm going to stay away from it.
Semmelsberger has an 8-inch reach advantage.
Yeah, he does. This kid's that Fletcher's a really good wrestler, though. I don't know, man. You're probably right, and they're probably right that Semmelsberger will win, but it scares me in my parlays. But I do like this kid that took everything O'Malley had and stayed there. And I like Mutino. Yeah, I like Mutino, Chris Mutino. He's good money right now, is at a -150 underdog. I like the Sabina Mazo and Miranda Maverick fight to go the distance.
Yes.
Did we lose on that chick once?
We've lost to both of them.
We got screwed on Maverick and I had Macy Barber.
Yeah, instant PTSD when you said both those names. I was like,
Barber. Yeah. But for sure, it's going to the overage. It's in my parlay too. This is going to be a long, boring decision, but you can bet the over.
All right.
Yep. Okay. So I like, and this is a risky one, but whatever. Let's gamble a little bit. So I'm going to go Mutino, Mazo, and Maverick to go the distance. I'm going to take JJ Aldrich over Robertson. I think that's a really good matchup, and Aldrich just hits harder. If Robertson wrestles, she wins. If she stands up, I think Aldrich wins. But I'm going to take Aldrich. And then I'm going to put Pereira, Youssef, Yadong in. All right. I'm going to skip the Ankalaev. I might throw it in a couple other parlays, but you want to be safe. I'm going Yadong and pick him to finish. Youssef, Pereira, Aldrich, Chris Mutino, and Sabina Mazo and Miranda Maverick to go the distance.
All right. Going the distance.
Didn't even count that. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 6. All right. Six fighter.
Nice. All right. So I'm tracking. You got Yadong and Ankalaev as your locks, but you're keeping Ankalaev out of your parlay because you're minus 650. Yeah. All right. Bill, give us the locks, the parlays, and the DraftKings sleeper.
Joe and I are pretty similar. I'm going to give you some extra ones in there. Another thing on the Mutino fight, Joe, is the guy he's fighting, Nick, is 29 years old, Mutino, and he's fighting Canetti, who's 42.
Oh, that 42. There goes that parlay.
Canetti's also 8-7.
Yeah.
8-7.
It's going to be 9-7.
Joe and I's locks are pretty similar. Yadong and Ankalaev. So obviously throw those in the parlay, but I'm telling you, I would take Ankalaev over on that one. That's a pretty safe bet. Roundtree also a good DraftKings sleeper. I don't know why he's an underdog on that one, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Neither do I, Bill. Neither do I.
So to move on to the prelims for nice parlays for you, I'd take Semmelsberger money line.
Who's this burger guy? Burger.
Semmelsberger.
Okay.
He dwarfed that Fletcher.
Yeah.
Robertson Aldridge. Joe's right, could go either way, but take the overage on that one. That's going to be another fight that for sure goes the distance. Maverick and Mazo both burned us, but they're also boring and have no power. Take that as the over. That is for sure going the distance, and it's gonna be boring and shit. So that's the fight you go on a beer run.
Nice. I'm gonna need that today.
I would throw Mutino in there. He impressed me. He took that fight against O'Malley, one of the best in the division, on like 4 days' notice, and was tough as shit. That's if you want to go ballsy on a parlay. I throw in Mutino, but the very first fight of the night is Mirazakhanov. Take the under on that one. He's almost one of my locks, but I'm going to give him a little bit of leeway since it's his first fight in the UFC after the Contender Series. But that fight is definitely not going the distance. It's going to be two big guys, and Mirazakhanov throws hate in everything he throws. So take Mirazakhanov to finish. And I bet you they'll maybe make it to the second round. Maybe. But Mirazakhanov is going to try to rip this dude's head off. And I think he's going to be a very, very dangerous man in that division coming up. So add Mirazakhanov, but bet early because he's the first fight of the night on the prelims.
All right. So out of all of that, can we just give us like a good 5 or 6 fighter out of that? Because just lay it down so somebody can take notes like me.
Mirazakhanov, take the under. Or you can take Mirazakhanov money line. Mazo Maverick, take the over. Robertson Aldridge, take the over. Semmelsberger money line. Then go Yadong Ankalaev. And if you want to get ballsy, go ahead and throw in Roundtree and Youssef.
All right. I got it. So there you have it. Remember, the podcast of this will be put up on all the platforms in about 20 minutes as soon as we get done with the show. But hey, write them down. All right. Put your money on these guys. I'm telling you, it's been a pretty good couple of years betting with these guys so far. A couple losses, but you got to take it out once in a while when you're gambling. All right. We'll be back live in about 3 hours, and we have a special guest coming on, an MP. All right, so we will hold that against her, but an author, Laura Calbert, she is coming on the show, and she's also a leadership coach. So it'll be fun to have her on and talk about her book, Sirens. All right, so it's I guess it's a catchy title, but who knows? And then Buddy Beckwith, we don't really know where he is. We don't know if he's in a river somewhere, but he has dropped out of the show today. So those of you who are the Beckwith fans, sorry, he will not be there, but VTT's Pacific Tita will be joining us again back-to-back weeks to help us out. So looking forward to that show. Remember, don't gamble if you don't got money. All right, just don't do it. And then also, if you got a booze problem, don't drink it.
Don't drink.
All right, so just out. All right, and because I'll talk about that on the Trash Talk Hour with some of the triggered people that we're talking about. Oh, you guys are promoting booze on a veteran site. Yeah.
No.
There is a veteran podcast that I like to hear every once in a while called My Drinking Buddies.
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
But again, we'll talk about it later. It doesn't really matter. So hey, we'll see you guys in a couple hours. Bill, last word. Let's plug that awesome organization.
Again, if you go on Facebook, they have been posting a lot. They've had a lot of stuff going on. Go to Gold Star Teen Adventures. Donate some money. All money goes towards Gold Star kids. They have got a packed summer, so the more money you give, the more kids they can sponsor. They just got done doing like a little thing in the woods where guys got to do like a military style obstacle course type stuff. They got deep sea diving trips coming up. So much stuff for these kids, and again, all the money you donate goes towards Gold Star Kids, which I can't think of a better organization to donate money to. Gold Star Teen Adventures.
That's awesome. All right, so those of you who are listening and not watching and don't understand what Gold Star is, I'm sure you can Google it, but that's the Children of the Fallen. All right, so when we lose our battle buddies and they leave kids behind. All right, so this organization takes care of them. So like Bill said, it's a great organization to give to. They've been vetted, and we definitely, will continue giving to them and doing some fundraisers for them as well. All right, guys, we will see you in a couple hours.
All right.